happily owns up to his flaws and failings. You'll often find that a Sigma man holds his hands up and admits when he is being stubborn. He'll let you know when he messed up or made a mistake in some way. This is weird, yet incredibly admirable. Weird only because the vast majority of the world goes around trying to hide this side of themselves. They worry it is a display of weakness. They are busy trying to hide their flaws from the outside world. Sigma men don't, though. He doesn't have to act like he's flawless. He exudes an inner confidence that is unaffected by his shortcomings. He has the profound self-awareness necessary to be able to look himself in the mirror in the morning, and he isn't frightened by it. He sees it as a chance to develop and become a better person. Don't expect compliments or gifts. Here's the thing. The Sigma male doesn't follow certain expected rules if he doesn't see the point in them. He uses his self-governed logic to decide what makes sense to him. And two things that make little sense to him are flattery, bribery. Of course, praises and presents aren't exactly like that, but they may seem that way to a Sigma man. He isn't completely against compliments, but he would rather give and accept them in moderation and with sincerity. He is a man who prefers substance over fashion. Hence, praises are never made in a shallow manner. He will discuss your character rather than your appearance, for instance. A Sigma man may also feel that extremely considerate gifts are suitable. He won't, however, merely purchase items for you. He can quickly camouflage himself. We've already established that Sigma men have strong characters. But here's something strange. You don't always notice a Sigma male at first. That's because despite their individuality, they are capable of blending into the crowd. Probably because they don't draw attention to themselves or have a look-at-me attitude. They prefer to work quietly behind the scenes. Then they make an impact when they are ready. He will happily observe and work out the lay of the land from the shadows. Sigmas are adept at reading people like a book, which explains why it's challenging to convince a Sigma male of anything. You may have heard that male Sigmas might be reticent around others. But the truth is that they can also get along with people and are highly adaptive. They have superb concealment thanks to this. He acts uniquely. If you spend enough time with a Sigma guy, you will eventually learn about his peculiarities. He prefers things done his way and doesn't want anyone interfering. He doesn't care how other people approach the situation. That is as a result of Sigma's innovative thinking. They can think creatively. Incidentally, this is also what enables them to see patterns and make observations that others don't notice. They don't feel the need to follow the crowd. Unlike alphas who are incredibly competitive, Sigma males only feel in competition with themselves. To those looking in from the outside in, the way he chooses to structure and order his life may not make much sense. But so long as it works for him, he knows there is order in the apparent chaos. He can get agitated easily. You may be excused for assuming that sometimes a Sigma guy lacks patience. He can come out as argumentative initially since he enjoys debating and discussing other viewpoints. That could be considered one of the drawbacks of ferocious independence. A Sigma man is completely independent and strongly likes to do things their way, so he can find group settings a little grating. For example, let's say a group of people cannot decide which restaurant to go eat at. A Sigma man isn't bothered enough to stick around for the seemingly endless debate. Quite frankly, he'd be happy to go and eat alone anyway. Perhaps the next weird habit on our list isn't quite so surprising then. He'll leave without saying goodbye. We all know those guys who will just disappear from a party without letting anyone know they're going. Well, there's a good chance he is a Sigma male. Sigmas do what they want when they want. If he gets bored, irritated, or has simply had enough, he will quickly exit the situation with stealth. It might be some time before you even realize he's gone. He's certainly not trying to be rude. He just isn't the needy type. So when he's done, he is happy to go without making a fuss. Don't be offended, he's most likely just recharging his battery. He spends a lot of time alone. To a Sigma male or any introvert, this habit isn't weird in the slightest. But let's face it, we still live in a very extroverted world. And not everyone understands the deep need for the alone time that many people have. Some people find it difficult to hang out with themselves. But for a Sigma male, his own company is his favorite company. This is time he can spend pursuing his interests, thoughts, and ideas. What puts the Sigma male seemingly on the outside of society is his contentment with self-isolation. It's important to realize this isn't because he doesn't value relationships. As we'll soon see, he does. But from the outside, it can make him seem mysterious or even little distant. He takes time to open up. The reason Sigma males can come across as closed off is because of this next habit. And that's being slow to open up to people. He is a private man and people need to respect his privacy. But he isn't a closed-off recluse. He has deep and meaningful relationships. He simply goes for quality over quantity. You're never going to find a Sigma male dating just for the sake of it. He is too happy being alone to make do with subpar relationships. And a Sigma male realizes that respect, trust, and connection need to be earned and built slowly. That is why he is very loyal, but you must take time to earn your status in his life. He can be robotically restrained, so a Sigma man certainly doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. But another side to that is that he is good at keeping hold of his emotions. In testing and tense situations, you're not likely to see him fly off the handle. Luckily, his self-awareness gives him enough understanding of his feelings to keep them in check. Even when faced with others' extreme anger or aggression, a Sigma man keeps his cool, so much so that to some his steely exterior can seem almost frosty or robotic. But a Sigma man is anything but. He is very in touch with his emotions, but he knows when it's appropriate to reveal them or not. If he isn't smiling or laughing, it doesn't mean he isn't having a good time. It's probably obvious by now that it can be very tricky to read a Sigma male. You don't know what's going on in their head because they keep their cards close to their chest. Sigma males are very internal. They also don't feel the need to follow other social cues that people use, but that can be quite confusing. They're not prepared to perform for others' sake. So you might often see a Sigma man sitting in the corner straight-faced. But don't assume he isn't having fun. He doesn't feel the need to give off certain signals simply to show he is enjoying himself. If he tells you he is, then you can take him at his word. He's not going to lie to you simply to people, please. They don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone but themselves. But they're just as powerful as the alpha. Sigmas aren't followers. They could be leaders if that is the road they choose, but it isn't. The Sigma male is a powerful personality that isn't altered by anyone or what they think of them. They are just fine doing their own thing and couldn't care less who is in charge. Sigmas live their life in silence, but it is golden silence. Sigma males have a very limited amount of things to say. If they do say something, you should listen up because it probably means something. Men of few words, silence is their stance. They aren't going to call attention to themselves by voicing any opinion about anything. It isn't anyone else's business. They are James Dean without a cause. Literally, they are the hot guy who comes to town to buck the system and take all the hot girls. It isn't their fault. They don't even want to be thought of as amazing. A rebel is very attractive to girls who look for a bad boy. Sigma males are only bad boys because they aren't going to be told what to do, not because they are bad. They are highly attractive to women. These shy, silent types don't care or notice. Women find them mysterious and have to figure out what is going on in that head of theirs. The thing is that they aren't ever going to let them in. What is attractive on the outside isn't so much fun when they never give in, won't let their mysteriousness fade, or allow their silence to turn into idle chatter. People consider them intellectual and intelligent. They are the definition of both book and street smart, but they play it off like they are all street. They know just about everything. People listen when they talk because they rarely do. When they do, it is typically worthwhile and valuable. To conclude, the weird and wonderful world of Sigma males. Just like all personalities, what makes a Sigma male tick has many sides to it. Those slightly peculiar or weird habits are part of what makes them who they are. Without their quirky side, the Sigma male would not have the strength of character that so many have come to know, love, and admire.